Coming to you from the studios at the Illinois Rock and Roll Museum on Route 66, it's the Rock and Roll Chicago podcast.
Rock and roll Chicago, rock and roll Chicago, my hometown. Well, I was born in the city, gonna rock the city, Chicago. Chicago rock and rollers are the best you're ever around.
Hey everybody, it's Ray the Roadie.
And this is Hollywood Mike.
Hey, any bridges down?
Oh, God. Don't even get me. Why? Why'd you have to go there?
Because I like to.
So now I'm just going to be on a whole freaking tangent. I just, I've lived in this area for like 30 years. And for 28 years, I never saw these bridges up.
Yep.
Now, for some reason, like the past 2 years, I can't come to downtown Joliet without a bridge being up.
Yep. And it's like that everywhere. It's all over the places.
And with trains, too.
Yeah.
Trains and bridges. What the hell?
And roads that are taking 3 and 4 years to finish.
God, are you kidding me?
Oh,
Everything's down to one lane.
Yeah. It's nuts.
Everything's one lane going the wrong direction.
That's
Everything.
right. No life in the fast lane.
No, not at all. I mean, it's all messed up and screwy. Kind of like this name, like Rick Andrews Schlegel. Rick Andrews Schlegel. I can't get through it.
Rhymes with bagel.
Yeah, Rick Andrews Schlegel rhyme with bagel.
Right.
I can't even say that one time. We have in the studio tonight, Rick Andrews Schlegel, everybody.
There you go.
Thank you very much. Yeah, the bridges are up. I didn't even notice.
Yeah. And they always seem to go up at like 5:40, right in the middle of rush hour.
Like that old Blues Brothers joke. How often does that train go by? So often you won't even notice it. How often are the bridges up? So often you won't
you don't even notice it. Yeah.
Back to life, you get used to it. Right
Yeah.
here.
No, it's crazy. And everything being down to one lane, right now, it's backed up for a mile when the bridges do go up. Yeah. So you're sitting there, you're trying to cross the bridge for 15 minutes. It's terrible. But anyways, so how you doing, man?
I'm doing real well. I appreciate being asked and being able to come down.
Absolutely.
Great to have you here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. You and I had probably known each other for a little while, but the first time we met, I think, is when you played you filled in for the Stillmasters. You were scheduled to fill in for Cadillac Groove, but then a fundraiser came up at this place called which it was still Scooters, but now it's Corrigan's, which we were just talking about on last week's podcast. And that's when we met the very first time.
Yeah, I've probably known of you and about you and your band, and I think we might have been at a couple of open mics way back in the day, but probably for 10, 15 years. But it's odd that being around the local music scene that we hadn't run into each other and known each other personally before that, you know? So, but it was a cool honor to be asked and recommended and come in and sit in with the band both nights and, got an education and experience. It was a gas and fun. And, I'd always, looked forward to playing with you. I know you're a big blues guy. I love playing the 1-4-5 blues bass stuff. Yeah. And, that was, there's a lot of fun both nights.
Well, that first night was somewhat of a train wreck. We played for a fundraiser and at the last second, the band that the family had hired, it was a fundraiser for medical reasons, I believe. Like 2 days before the fundraiser, their band canceled on them and they sent out an SOS. We need a band for this fundraiser. It's going on. It's scheduled the whole bit. We have no band. And it just happened to catch the attention of Patty, the wife of Jeff, who's our keyboard player in the Stillmasters. So for about the next 48 hours, I'm scrambling around because our regular bass player couldn't make it. Our drummer didn't know if he was going to be available. It turns out he wasn't available. Then Tom was available, and then he wasn't available. And then Jeff was available. I don't know. I went through it literally took about 48 hours for us to put together a band just to help them out so they would have a band for that fundraiser. It was a train wreck in that regard that all of a sudden you get thrown in and only 2 people who were on that stage were actually members of the Stillmasters. And then we had Tom and Scott from Cadillac Groove. And then we had you thrown in there, which you didn't meet any of us at that point. So, but we made it work. We made it happen using my small little PA to fill that whole back room. So, but it worked.
That's
you said you're small little. I thought you were going to say something else.
That's oddly how some of the best gigs happen, though.
Right.
Throw together at the last minute. You meet people walking in the door. Hey, we're going to be playing together. What are we doing? I don't know. The key of and 3 chords and a cloud of dust, and here you go.
That's right.
And musicians play their instruments and they dig in, they listen, they have fun. And I've been part of a handful of gigs like that I thought were going to be train wrecks. And, oh my gosh, how are we going to get through this? I don't even know these people or the situation or is there a back line? Is there a PA? Do you have a place to stand next to the pool table and dartboard? I don't know. But at the end of the night, you walk out there like a conquering hero and you're like, well, that was great.
Well, if you don't know what you're doing, then you don't know you're screwing up. So
that's right.
It's
the
part of the
pressure's
fun
on.
and joy of being a musician, you know. The pressure and the edge makes you perform, and that's a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. So when I met you and then found out that well, it was actually maybe just a couple months later, we both got hired for a festival type kind of thing out in Dwight, right? I think it was Allie Ann. So you were playing in the back room and you were playing in the set. I shouldn't say back room. It was more like the patio or their beer garden kind of thing. And then we were playing in the front. And that was the first time I knew of you actually playing guitar and writing your own music and the whole bit. I just thought you were a bass player and didn't do anything else.
Well, I know that you have been at the studio in Lockport quite a bit over the years, and that's some place.
We call that the place that shall not be mentioned on this podcast.
That's right. Yes. Please.
That place in Lockport on the
Paul, you can edit that or just censor it. Give us that little censor noise.
The place that shall not ever be. Yeah, give us the boop. Yeah.
But again, way back in the day, I know that you played there a lot, even as a singer-songwriter, and that it was always mentioned the material that you had, and that. It was like, wow, if Mike's playing there and they like original music, that's someplace I could probably bring my guitar down to and try it out too. So I was lucky enough to get a couple turns down there too. And, that was a good experience and a lot of fun to be able to air out the songs and new material. And so we've hopscotched around and past each other literally for 10, 15 years.
Yeah, because I'm assuming you probably went to because they had a singer songwriter open mic there. So I hosted the full band, open jam, we would call it, not to confuse it with just an open mic. And that was on Sundays. But then I can't remember if it was Tuesday or Wednesday or something like that. They would have the open mic where it was the singer songwriter nights. So you probably went to that one. And that's why we just kept missing each other there.
Could be. I know I went to a couple of the opens there. My old buddy, Dave Walters was a drummer and I know Dave and I have gone down there and played,
that's right.
As a blues trio before, but, as a singer songwriter, just doing an acoustic set, on my own there.
God, I haven't seen Dave in a long time.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, he's still around.
Oh yeah, he's still around.
Still
That's
doing
good.
the same thing.
That's good.
Dave's not here.
Yeah, Dave's not here.
Playing drums and pinstripe, and he's one of the best.
Yeah, he drums and what do you say?
Well, he's a longtime pinstriper. That's what he does for a living. He goes
I didn't
to all the
know that.
car shows and hand stripes. He's an old school metal flake drawn pinstripes on motorcycles and
Wow.
cars.
How did
and
I
trucks.
not know
And
that?
He does dragsters and you name it. He does incredible work.
How did I not know that?
No, I don't know, but he'll probably stripe up your guitar for you if you'd like.
No, I got a matte black Harley Davidson that I'd like to put some gloss black pinstriping on.
He has splashed paint on every motorcycle I've owned, and he's fabulous. From murals to little details.
Yeah.
I like real old school style lettering. And it's all freehand, and you can't believe it when he does it. I'm like, how do you draw a straight line all the way down a car like that?
Right.
And it's like perfect. He's just been doing it since he was a kid.
I had no idea that's what he did for a living. Wow.
Yeah, he's fabulous.
Wow, that's cool. You just told me something about Dave. But anyways, we're not talking about Dave. We're talking about you. So how long you been performing solo and writing music and all that good stuff?
Well, I guess my story goes back being a little kid, being the youngest of 5 boys and a family. And mom was a music teacher, and the oldest 3 got music lessons on the piano. And I was the little kid that really never got any, but I was always looking up at my older brothers out there playing music and my mom playing music. And it was just a musical household. So I kind of got the bug. A lot of people in the Joliet area may know my oldest brother, Ray Schlegel, who he's been in a number of excellent long-term bands here in the Joliet area, Pyramid, the old horn band, and also Vintage Wood. But, you know, as a little kid, he was the
That's
oldest
what we
brother.
call Ray.
The vintage wood. You know, but as the youngest brother and he was the oldest, he always had to drag me around babysitting, and I'd sit in the corner at his rehearsals and go, I want to do that too, you know. And eventually came my turn, and you know, in my senior summer year of high school, I bought a bass and started playing bass and graduated over to guitar and the means of songwriting, and been off to the races ever since.
So you did start on bass. Okay.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Well, you know, when you're in the high school bands and you're all dreaming of being a rock star, and, you know, I've probably written 300 songs in a loose leaf notebook before I even touch an instrument, you know, but, everybody that I knew was like, everybody was picking up a guitar. Everybody wanted to be the guitar player. And I just always felt more gravitated towards the bass line, just the groove there. And I always thought, if everybody else is playing guitar, if I play bass, I'm always going to be in a band.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, and singing bass players are unicorns. It's like, you know, keyboard players, hard to find. And, you know, when you have them, they're something good.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
Well, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
So, did you start writing your own music that early on, or was it the?
Well, it was always,
cover
you know,
band
like poetry and loose leaf stuff, and, you know, in my mind's eye, they were full songs, but without any music accompanying to it. It's just in my head, you know. But I went to college up in Minneapolis and met a girl. I met a girl, Mike,
Yeah,
right?
always.
Met a girl in my class that didn't really like too much when I first met her. She kind of got under my skin, but it's kind of one of those things where she kind of knew me from the moment that she met me. And it turned out, after going to school there for a little while and getting to know her, I didn't know her background story at all, but it turned out that she was there on a break from being a touring musician, and she was the background vocalist for Jackson Browne for years, for a strong band.
Wow.
And it was the first time that I ever met anybody that I saw up close that had done that for a living, that was a professional musician and had all the stories to go along with it. And, you know, she played piano and saxophone and sang and played guitar. And she actually played guitar on the Helen Reddy Delta Dawn album, you know, and the guitar that she played on that record, she actually gifted to me because we got to be close friends. And she said, I don't know what it is, but something's telling me that you're going to be a songwriter and you've got songs inside of you. And this guitar is meant for you. And sure enough, she handed it to me, and I'm like, I can't take that guitar from you, but she gave it to me on permanent loan. And it turned out I've written hundreds and hundreds of songs on it. And she was
that
right.
it?
You know, that's not it, but that's,
You know,
yeah.
you can't drop a story like that.
Right.
You can't, and then show up with this squeak box, whatever the hell that is.
Well,
I can't
it's a
even
Taylor.
see it.
That's just a, regular Taylor POS.
Yeah, but Helen Reddy didn't touch it.
And it wasn't played on a number one record. So
Yeah.
I own a guitar that's more famous than me, which is the irony isn't lost on me.
Wow.
But that kind of sparked me, to write songs and see the bar and the level that I needed to be at in order to be not just good, but great.
Yeah.
And songwriting became a real big passion of mine, and really started digging into it.
So what happened to the girl?
She actually went on, and her and her husband founded Pachyderm Records in Minneapolis.
Oh,
Wow.
And that's where the Nirvana records were done. Live Throwing Copper was recorded there. The Indigenous Band records there. It's a world famous studio. It's got the old Jimi Hendrix Nevy, recording console in it.
Yeah.
It's a fabulous studio. Unfortunately, she passed away a couple of years ago.
Oh,
So the guitar is now
Right,
mine.
It's permanently.
But we've got designs on getting it back to her family and her daughter, and
Right.
so that reunion would be pretty cool. But
yeah.
she was really an inspiration. She helped me learn a different way of living than the way I was living, which was not good for my health back in those days. Partying as a college kid, and she showed me a different way. And
What was her name?
her name was Lori Williams.
Lori Williams.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then married Lori Nickel with the Pachyderm Records studio.
Okay. Wow, that's a great story.
Fabulous.
No kidding.
Yeah,
That's
really cool.
very inspirational.
Yeah, she was a
story.
mentor,
Did you write anything with her?
Never did, but we used to trade demos back and forth in the mail all the time. This is what I'm working on. And, we'd send them back and forth. And, she'd give me little recommendations here and there on songs. So,
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. So there's nothing else you can say now that's really going to compare to that in the podcast.
No.
I can't even think about it. So where'd you go to school in the Twin Cities?
It's called Brown University up in Minneapolis.
Yeah, I know where that is.
It's a school that doesn't exist anymore. It was a trade school back then.
Okay.
Grew to be a full-fledged institution, but has since, petered out as some schools do.
Yeah.
And it doesn't exist anymore. But
when did that close down? Did that close down?
It probably closed somewhere in the mid 90s or so, but I was there in like 86, 87.
Right. I mean, I work in academia. I know I've heard of it before, but I haven't been there in a long time.
Well, and so in the industry, if you were in radio and TV, they'd say, you're a brownie. You went to Brown.
Oh, yeah. I do remember. I do remember that. You were a brownie. No kidding. Yeah.
To go back before that, I was an athlete in high school and, threw the football in the rain, played, basketball and baseball and did a lot of drama and theater as well. So it was a small town, central Wisconsin, and the local PD at the radio station knew me from doing stories and the productions and sports. And he said, hey, why don't you come work for us at the radio station on the weekends? So I started in radio my senior year of high school and did that, for 2 years. And I thought, well, this is something I'd like to do maybe as a living. And they said, we'll hire you full time if you go get your education. And that's what happened. I went to school, fell in love with both radio, TV, and, songwriting and music, and came back and worked at the station full time, and eventually worked my way down here to Chicago, where the rest of my family was, and did radio and TV around here locally in Aurora and here in Joliet and out in Morris and a handful of different stations. Nice. So that's, at the beginning of the session here, Rick Andrews Schlegel. That's where the Rick Andrews comes from. Is the very first time I was on the radio, my program director said, Schlegel.
Yeah, no, that's not going to work.
Terrible,
no.
right? And he said, we need to get you a different name. And I said, well, Schlegel is a German word. It means hammer.
Right.
And he's like, Rick the Hammer, you could be the Hammer. And I'm like, I'm not really
sounds like WWE.
I'm not a big Mickey Spillane fan, And luckily, to my luck, the overnight guy, his name was Greg, and they called him the Hammer. And I'm like, you can't have two hammers at one radio station. I'm like, I'll just use my middle name, Andrew.
There you go.
So when I was in that industry for about 7 to 10 years, and when I started doing the music thing and getting real serious about it, nobody knew who Rick Schlegel was, but if I said, hey, I'm Rick Andrews from, and the different radio stations I worked at, like 96.7 IROC here, WKKD in Aurora, WCFL out in Morris, they would go, oh, we know who that is. So I used it professionally as a means of songwriting to open doors and get gigs. And that kind of became the professional nom de plume, so to speak. I never meant it to be like, something egotistical or, pompous to have an altered name or a stage name like that. It was just because Schlegel's too darn hard to say on the radio, but it's kind of come full circle, like, the old John Cougar Mellencamp kind of thing. Is he Johnny Cougar? Is he Johnny Mellencamp? And now he uses all of it in all three, and it really doesn't matter. It's just, me and my guitar and 3 chords, Cloud of Dust, and, writing the songs, put my heart on my sleeve, and hopefully people like what they hear.
Yeah. John, whatever we want to call him, John Cougar, John Mellencamp, whatever the heck we want to call him. He was a visionary, actually, because nowadays that's like totally in vogue to keep changing your name like every 2 years. I mean, look at. I mean, P Diddy, Puff Daddy, Puffy, whatever the heck he is. I mean, Jailbird, whatever the heck he is.
Right. Well, that's
whatever the heck he is nowadays. Yeah, I did. I went there. I
never changed my name to a symbol, though.
Yeah, no,
artist known as.
Yeah. That's it. I actually attempted to do that one time, but I couldn't. The fleur-de-lis just didn't catch on. But
thought you were some stripper.
Yeah.
Please welcome fleur-de-lis.
Well, yeah. Next on the poll we have
all this talk about music. I want to hear some.
I do too. I do too. But I wanted to get one more thing out of them. Then, so so when you started writing songs, and I mean, I'm assuming when were you in high school? Like 80s?
Class of 85, man.
Class of 85? Yeah. So you graduated high school. Your formative years were at the height of hair metal and the whole bit.
Yes, it was.
Was that influencing your early songwriting? Is that what you were into?
A little bit, to a degree. I made a conscious effort really not to cover bands of that day and era, because I always felt like I wanted to develop my own sound and my own identity. One of the really cool things about music of the 70s is that every band was unique and different. Boston sounded like Boston. Aerosmith was Aerosmith. All of these bands were instantly identifiable the moment you heard them. And, I didn't want to sound like the next Poison or the next whoever,
Funny how the times have changed.
Yeah, well,
because nowadays everybody sounds like everybody else on the radio.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, you don't know who they are unless you look down at your car stereo and see the name of the song and the artist. But yeah,
so I tried to develop that identity, and I think the most accurate description that has ever been said of me and what I was working for in my mind's eye, I had somebody say, "Hey, Rick, you sound like Bryan Adams meets the Eagles, but wearing mag wheels and headers." Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, that's pretty close.
I'll take it. Yeah.
I don't do anything fancy. It's not like big progressive stuff. It's, Midwestern rock, 3 chords and a cloud of dust, so to speak. But hopefully it's always got a good message and a good feel, and something gets through from a singer-songwriter perspective, All
right. Yeah. Well, I think it's that time then.
I think it's time for us to take a break.
Yep. We'll be back.
You're listening to the Rock and Roll Chicago Podcast.
Hey, everybody, it's Ray the Roadie.
And this is Hollywood Mike of the Rock and Roll Chicago Podcast. If you've been enjoying our weekly program, we have great news for you. Just tune in to Road to Rock Radio on Mondays at 7 p.m. Central Time, and you can hear a rebroadcast of one of our past episodes. Then again on Thursdays at 7 p.m., you can hear our most current episode brought to you by the Illinois Rock and Roll Museum on Route 66.
So go to roadtorock.org, scroll down, and click on Radio Station. That'll bring you to the Road to Rock Radio, a station committed entirely to the great music from Illinois, from Chicago blues born on Maxwell Street to today's rock and roll and everything in between. 24/7, all music with its roots in Illinois.
Your Sunday nights just got a whole lot bluesier. Get ready for the Bus Stop Blues, a show that takes you deep into the soul of the blues with classic hits, road stories, and live jam sessions. Hosted by bluesman Kevin Purcell and me, the one and only Road Bill. The Bus Stop Blues is 2 hours of non-stop blues, banter, and badassery. Check out the Bus Stop Blues podcast at thebusstopblues.com, where you can listen on Spotify, iHeart, Apple Podcasts, or any other major podcast platform. Up on board the Bus Stop Blues, where the blues never stops rolling.
We are back, and the first time tonight, we have Rick Andrews Schlegel. Take it away, man.
The song we're going to play for you is called Rock Island Line, and it's a song about coming home. Very simply, I was working downtown and going Union Station to Union Station on the Rock Island Line every day, every night. And, work is hard sometimes, and you're drained, and you just want to come home. And the sun was setting, not to steal the lines from the song, but this is a song about coming home. I love songs about trains and coming home, so it's Rock Island Line. Rock Island, take me home. Eyes of blue and a field of green, to a place I call my own. Everything's on loan. I work because I owe. Rock Island westward run, melt into the setting sun. When my day is done, with shadows growing long,
Very nice.
There you go, man.
I was ready to hop on the train.
That was a powerful song. I'm talking into the ass end of my.
You are talking into the ass end of the mic.
There we go, man. Maybe that's why my wife can't hear and understand what I'm saying. I'm always talking behind her.
That's right.
Something like that. Sorry, honey, I had to say that. I'm sorry. Just let me back in the house tonight. Okay, there we go. No, that was a good song. I like that. But I have to tell you, there was one. It got halfway through the song and I heard "Real Man of Genius."
Yeah, I think I did too a little bit. Yeah, yeah.
Mr. Multicolored Sweater. I remember my first day with my first beer. Yeah,
I think they just found their next guy to sing.
That's right.
Whatever happened to those commercials?
I don't know. They were
Now I'm
great.
pissed. They were great.
Oh, and didn't he die?
I don't know. I don't. I hope it. Wait, was it who?
Yeah, he died.
Who was it?
The guy from Survivor.
No, that's not the guy that was doing those.
Yeah,
singing those.
Yeah, it was. I forget his name now.
Jimmy Jameson.
Yeah, that's who it was.
That was Jimmy Jameson
That was
doing
Jimmy
those commercials.
Yes.
I didn't even know that.
I didn't know that either.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
At first I thought it was John Parr. Remember John Parr?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was John Parr. I didn't realize that was Jimmy Jameson that was doing that stuff. Well, I think they found the next guy. They don't do those commercials anymore. I think those
They should bring them back.
They should. I think the commercial. You know what it is? They've replaced those commercials with the guy that's helping the homeowners who are turning into their parents.
No. Yeah.
Those are absolutely hilarious during football on Sunday. But no, that's a good song, man. I really like that one.
Thanks. I'm at the age where I identify with those commercials a little too much.
Oh no, it wasn't James. It wasn't him. It was Dave Bickler.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was going to. Okay.
Dave Bickler.
Yeah. Okay.
But you know what? If you come up with a few different songs like that, you record them and you send it into them to Budweiser. Say, hey, how about bringing this back? I can do this for you.
Yeah, I can do this voice. Yeah, I can do
Well,
this.
the best Survivor song was, and always will be Roy, the Eye of the Tiger in the Starbucks commercials.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Remember that one? Coming off the elevator, Roy,
Oh, yeah.
Roy. You know, I was like, wow. That's funny.
Yeah. Now, when did you write that one?
Not too long ago, it's about 15 years ago. It's on an album called Candid, Transparent, and Gratitude. That's just my attempt to write something Americana. You know?
Yeah. So, I mean, why'd you pick that one to play for us today?
I like the message,
Okay.
and I like the arrangement and the structure of the song, how it turned out. And if you like that, then hopefully it'll drive you over to, one of the websites to listen to the full production of the actual recording. And it's for anything that we're doing here today. But I just think there's a lot of meat in that song that people can grab onto and identify with.
Yeah. Would you say that your style of writing has changed over the years, or have you stayed pretty true?
As you grow, as an artist, and you go through the creative process of making albums, I think you've kind of fine-tuned who you are and what you do. The very first record I ever did was called Little Brother, and I did that back in like 96. And I remember writing like 75 songs for that record to get the best 9 or 10, So you still write a lot of songs to get to the best ones and gems and see which ones are going to fit. But I think now, knowing who I am as an artist and what my voice is, and what you want to say in a song helps me get down to the point of, what I need in that song a little bit more quickly. I don't have to write so many songs to get to the one. Those ones don't ever grow up. They stay on the scratch pad and in the notebook, and
right.
But the ones that you're pretty sure are going to be there, are the ones that you end up finishing and fleshing out.
Yeah.
Oh! Can I ask my question?
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Lyrics or melody, which comes first?
It's a little bit of both. I'm always jotting down song titles that, something will hit me and, I'll take out the phone and put it on the list of song titles to work on. I've got reams and reams of notebooks like that too. And then, you'd sit around watching the baseball game with the guitar in your hand and sitting on the couch, and you noodle around and you're like, oh, that's cool. Maybe that'll fit with this, and you start assembling things together. But generally it's the song title and the melody and the message that you want to get across, and then kind of hammering that into shape. The creative process of songwriting is what really lights my fire, Every different step along the process is really super rewarding. From the initial thought of, oh, that might be a good song title, or this idea, or hey, that's a cool lick or a nice chord progression. That's the first reward. Ooh, I've got something to work with here, and then the rough draft, and then kind of hammering that into an arrangement and a structure. And the very first time you complete the lyrics and the music together and you play the song for the first time, that still gives me goosebumps. Oh, a new song, and then it's, let's take it to the studio and assemble it and see how it's going to grow up. When you start laying the instruments on, and, it's like building a house, you got the framework and the structure, and then, you get all of the accoutrements of the house, the shades and the drapes, and the paintings on the walls. Those are the other colors of the other instruments, the mandolins, the B3s, the backing vocals, everything that you could put on there to layer it, to really put the finishing touches on. And sometimes you don't know what a song is going to be when you first write it, and then after you get all the layers on it and it grows up to full thing, some of the ones you think they're duds turn out to be the great ones. The ones you think are great and end up not being so good, but it's all part of the process, and I love it. Every part of that process is a touchstone that I'm absolutely in love with.
That's great.
So now he's just showing off because, I write 75 songs to come up with the best 10 for one album. Yeah. He's just showing off. No, I mean, my song ideas come to me when I'm on the toilet, and I go down, seriously. And then I go down in the basement with a guitar and a notebook. Right. And it's like they come in like 10 minutes, right? It's ready. And then I get to where, okay, I need one more verse. And I'm like, fuck, I can't think of one more verse. God damn it. And then I take about another 20 minutes and I finish it and go, thank God. And I put it over there in a pile and I go, I'm sick of you. I'll come back to you next week and figure it out later. Because I get, and I hate the process. You're like the exact opposite. You're like the Zen master of writing songs. Me, I'm just like, I don't want to go. I want to have a new song, but I want to have to, God, okay, 15 minutes. That's all I'm putting into it.
Well, I'm nowhere near as prolific as I used to be, because in the early years, my whole focus was original music, the original band, supporting those songs, out there playing. But you make your choices in life. You have a family and a career, and you end up playing cover bands and playing rock and roll, and on every weekend. And I'm doing that now with my band, the Somethings. And that takes up just about every weekend as well. So there's not a lot of time. I've kind of passed the age of chasing the whole rock star thing, So that's not important. So now when you write a song, it's for a reason. It's because of the creative process, and that's who you are, My wife and I and my daughter were talking recently about the new Taylor Swift album. Yeah. Love her or hate her, she has assembled an empire based on songwriting, right? And somebody asked if this was it, if this was the last record, that she's ever going to do. And she was frankly insulted by the question. And I get it and I understand, because if you're a songwriter or a musician, it's something you obsess over, and whether it's a cradle to the grave kind of thing. I don't know if I'll ever be able to stop writing songs. Yeah. No, I totally get that. I hate, when did you become a musician? You don't become a musician. You are, you are a musician. Mm-hmm. And yeah, people don't understand that. It's like, when are you going to stop doing it? But, when are you going to stop breathing? I don't have a choice. Yeah. It's who I am, and it's what I do, know?
Right. It's like, I can retire from my day job. I can't retire from being a musician. I might stop playing for a little while, but I'm still a musician. That's the way. That's just the way it goes. Some guys play softball. Some guys play golf. Yeah. This is where my talents and my pursuits led me, and I dream it to epic proportions and love doing it. And if you don't do that, if I'm not
on stage with the band or recording or pursuing it, I'm sitting there on the couch strumming a guitar. And, it's, it doesn't matter if you're doing it just by yourself there on the couch at home or in front of 1,000 people or more. It's who you are and it's what you do. It's a part of you.
Right.
You can't turn it off.
Right. I've taken to doing this to solo artists that come into the studio now. And I think Ray and I mean, we have to entertain ourselves. So I think Ray and I enjoy this. So what's the first song you ever wrote?
That's a good question.
He's looking at
no,
me.
it's
The
first song was called "Raise My Hands to the Lord," and it turned out to be rewritten like 6-7 times before it became one of the ones that hit my first record.
Wow.
But again, that was a learning experience. It was just a chord progression and it turned into like a country thing. And, you bounce it off other people that know, and they're like, well, maybe you could do this with it. And, you revise and you write, you revise and you revise, but yeah, probably raise my hands to the Lord. Yeah.
So play it.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. This is the fun part. This is the
I
fun
don't know
part.
if I remember how to play it.
Verse and the chorus. Give us a sample. Give us a sample.
Wasn't so very long ago, written deep inside my soul. You draw me in, and you broke me to my knees. Raise my hands to the Lord. Raise my hands to the Lord. Raise my hands to the Lord. Raise them high.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I guess you remember.
Yeah.
I guess I should say that my pursuit early on was not just connected to music, but it was also connected to my spirituality. Sure. And my whole aim wasn't to be a rock star. I wanted to go in the other way. I wanted to develop music for a Christian music ministry. Mm-hmm. And for about 15 years, that's what I did. And I was a worship leader at a church here locally as well. And, got to, travel around regionally behind some of the records, and we did real well. We got some airplay. We opened up for some bigger Christian artists. And I was always intrigued by the whole Kurt Cobain Nirvana kind of thing, right. Because people were like, oh, he's the voice of the generation. I'm like, all he's doing is crying out in pain. Yeah. Everybody knows pain. And that's what was attractive about Nirvana is everybody could identify with feeling like that.
Right.
But as a songwriter and as a believer, something that I felt was my responsibility was that somewhere in the song, I got to provide an answer.
Yeah.
Now, I've never been of the, replace Jesus with baby and baby with Jesus. And, you've got to say Jesus 16 times in the song to make it a Christian song. Quite frankly, my songs are too rock and roll for, a worship service, so to speak. But I have written worship songs. I've been a worship leader, but somewhere in the songs, whether it's, something about belief or spirituality, but, and as I've grown, it's been less about music ministry, but more about sharing the experience of the human condition and still crafting somewhere in that song a connection that everybody can say, oh, I really know what he's talking about. Yeah. He's not saying those words, but that's what he's talking about.
Right. You ever see the South Park episode about when they try to put together a Christian rock band?
No. What haven't they lampooned and been great doing it?
It's got to be. This episode's got to be 15, maybe even closer to 20 years old, but you've got to go on YouTube and it's absolutely hilarious. They put together this Christian rock group, right? And all they're doing is taking popular songs and changing them to Jesus. So they go out on the very first song they perform is "'Cause You Once twice, 3 times Jesus.
Well, I got that from a Simpsons episode. There's an episode where Ned Flanders falls in with the country girl that does, Christian rock songs, and and Bart does. I think it was Bart that says that. Yeah, you just replace Jesus with baby, and it becomes a Christian song.
Yeah.
I mean, what happened to those cartoons, Lampoon?
Oh,
I was not a big South Park fan when it first came out, and then I had a friend of mine drag me to the movie.
Oh God.
And I was side-splittingly funny in the movie. And
absolutely.
Ever since then, it's been on, South Park. It's all tongue-in-cheek, and there's nobody safe from them. That's great.
Right,
You
right.
want to laugh? That'll make you laugh.
No, it's hilarious. Go and I'm not going to talk about it in the podcast, but there's another whole stereotype that they just destroy to smithereens in the same episode where they're trying to form this Christian rock band. And you'll know it. If you go and watch it, you'll know it. It's what they're trying to find a bass player. I'm just going to, I'm going to leave it at that. And you're going to piss your pants.
All I can say is blame Canada.
Yeah, there you go. That's right. So at any point in time, did you put together a band and you just went out and played your original music?
Yeah, I had kind of a core of studio musicians, and then when we finished the record, it was like, now I got to go out and play behind this stuff, and who do I get that can play these parts? So I was really lucky early on when I first started down that pathway of making my first record. I met him and had known Kenny Hark from Off Broadway, and he kind of helped mentor me and kind of tell me things about the industry and songwriting and production. And he promised me, I'm like, so if I ever get to the point where I'm ready to do this, you think you'd ever, come in and play drums for me? And he was like, sure, really gracious about it. And he helped me find the first studio, and we did pre-production rehearsals together, and we put together a great lineup with Kenny on the drums. You probably know the keyboard player that was introduced to me, my guitar player locally, John Boda. When I met John, it was like, where have you been all my life? I was like, I'm Bryan Adams, but all of a sudden, you're Keith Scott, or I'm Mick and you're Keith Richards, and that's the foil, that's the lead guitar guy that fills in the gaps of my songs. I'm like, I'm not a big lead guitar player, just to be candid. So I always need that A guitar player over there. And when I met John, he was like, well, do you need a keyboard player for the record? And I'm like, well, yeah, absolutely, that'd be great. And he goes, I know just the guy, and it turned out to be Marty Salmon.
Oh, wow.
Oh, no kidding. Yeah,
Marty,
yeah.
I first met Marty when he was 18 years old. He came over to my house to audition to be in my band to do pre-production for the record.
Yeah.
And for the next 5 years, he was in and out of my band doing live performances, and he's guested on every album I've done except the one I'm working on right now.
Wow.
But talk about an honor and a pleasure working with those guys, because
Absolutely.
they can just take anything that you did and make you sound great.
Yeah, right. Mhm, right. Yep. They go into the studio and they polish the turd, so to speak. That's
Consummate pros.
That's what is it? Steve Lukather says that all the time. He goes, they call us in to polish the turd.
Yeah, and then they make parts on your songs that you may have not written. But that's what I love about bringing monster musicians in to play on my records, is because they'll hear things and they'll play things that then become integral parts of the song that you need to have in there for all time.
Right.
And then when we started playing out behind the record, I recruited Jeff Nestor. You might know Jeff. To play bass, Bill Higgins on the drums, Marty on the keyboards, and John Boda. And, we went out and supported these records and played a lot of shows and had a whole heck of a lot of fun, not just playing rock and roll, but doing ministry and trying to do all of that in the right way. But it was real fulfilling for a long time.
Excellent. Well, before we run out of time, I would love to hear another one from you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Why don't we do that? And we'll just do it on the fly. I know where all the faders and everything need to be. We'll spin this around.
My son is in the military. He's in the Air Force.
Okay.
He's over in Okinawa, Japan. But you get missing your kid when he's on the other side of the world.
Yeah.
And I had started watching some of these YouTube videos of military reunions and surprise reunions,
Right.
where they come in and surprise mom or dad and everybody's crying and boo. And that's all I was thinking about. Boy, wouldn't it be sweet to see my son, so that created the genesis of this next song. And this is a song that was written not only about missing him, but what I wanted to highlight was the fact that not all the soldiers get to come home.
Yeah.
But when they do, it's a sweet reunion. So this is kind of a song for anybody that serves, anybody that is family of people that serve, that knows that longing. And this is called When a Soldier Comes Home.
They heard the call to be first in the fight, to honor and serve, protect all our rights from an ocean away, under stars they don't know. To live every moment just to make it back home. When a soldier comes home, when a soldier comes home. They walk the wire, they wish they were here. They're hoping and praying with a 1,000-yard stare. They're lost in the dreams of embraces that never let go. When the going gets rough, their thoughts turn to home. When a soldier comes home, the arms of his father. When a soldier comes home, to the arms of a mother, a brother, a sister, a spouse or a friend. It's cause to celebrate when a soldier comes home. A soldier comes home. We'll help you honor the service you've shown, help you pick up the pieces and make you feel whole under a blanket of freedom sown by your sacrifice. And to never forget those ultimate price. When a soldier comes home to the arms of a sailor, when a soldier comes home to the arms of a soldier, we stand as a nation, or divided we'll fall. Salute and celebrate when a soldier comes home. When a soldier comes home. When a soldier comes home.
I'm not compelled to hit the applause button.
no,
that one needs to fade on its own. That was very good.
That was great.
Very nice song.
That was great.
Man, excellent song.
Thank you.
Man.
So, you have any gigs coming up with on your own or with your band?
Man, I told you before, I kind of chased my oldest brother around to become a musician. That inspired me to become a musician. And all of our adult lives, I never got a chance to be in a band with him. But about 5 years ago, my brother raised two sons, Brandon and Colin Schlegel. They invited me to be part of their band called the Somethings.
Yeah.
And, these kids, they had the same problem that I did. Dad drug them around to rehearsals and shows. And, they got the music bug and, they started, music at a really young age. And they have become incredible songwriters, musicians, players, and really incredible people. They started this band called the Somethings, I think like back in 8th grade. So,
wow.
And the band's been around for 10 years. So,
wow.
I mean, they're only like, 22, 23, 25 years old, right? But 5 years ago, the bass player that they had with them, had to step out of music, was having some health problems. And they said, hey, we need a bass player. How about Uncle Ricky? He's pretty grooving.
Yeah.
Little did I know that the invite over to jam at their house one day was really an audition. And then I get the call a couple days later, and my brother's like, we'd like to ask you to join the band. And I'm like, yes, it's not even a question.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to be in a band. And so I get to be in a band with my oldest brother, whom I idolize and love, and his two sons, who are these supreme musicians, and they just kill it, And my first thought was, Uncle Ricky's going to come in, and I'm going to show these little whippersnappers.
Yeah.
And little did I know until they handed me the set list, and I'm like, I got to learn what?
Yeah.
Yep.
There was all this Steely Dan and Toto,
Oh, wow.
and I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm going to really have to, work here. As a matter of fact, the former bass player, Mark Garvey, he called me before I had a first rehearsal with him, and he's like, Rick, these guys will wear you out. You gotta be careful. Make sure you do your homework and prepare,
Wow.
So it was good advice. And I like to prepare to the point where it's automatic when I step on stage. So I found very quickly that it was a challenge to come up to what they were doing. But night after night, it's a fabulous band. The four of us all sing and trade off lead vocals. And then our drummer, Andy Kremsky, grew up with my oldest brother, Ray, in elementary school. And I played, and they were in first bands together. And then I was in a band with Andy called Smokey Colon and the Oysters of Love. Way back when.
Colon.
Yeah, it was a power blues band, So, we've all played together and stuff. I know, and the name was never spelled once right on the marquee anywhere we ever played. But the Somethings, we're kicking it. We're playing. I've been in the band now for 5 years, and I'd say that I've played probably 250 shows with them. We play between 45 to 60 shows a year.
Nice.
We're somewhere just about every weekend. As a matter of fact, next weekend we'll be at the Promenade in Bolingbrook.
Okay.
Playing there.
Yep.
But either it's a local club, bar, tavern, restaurant, or a local fest. But it's a great band and has a high degree of musicianship, and the vocals all mesh because of the family thing. And it's a cool thing to see. But it's an honor to play with them and play with family. And it's almost criminal to have that much fun playing music.
And what about your music? Where can people find your albums?
Well, Rick Andrews Schlegel is on the web with just Rick Andrews. So anywhere you can find music, whether it's Spotify, Apple, iTunes, Amazon, CD Baby. I have a site where you can actually purchase and download the songs, or you can stream it, which is just a Bandcamp site. So it's rickandrews.bandcamp.com. So you can get all the material there. And, if you like what you've heard today and some of the songs, hopefully you'll go there and download a few. And, it's not about, for me, making money doing any of that. It's more about the message of the songs. And, if there's something in these songs that catches your ear and you make it part of your heart and who you are and part of your daily life, that's all you can ask for as a songwriter, you know? My ultimate dream is to be able to have one song ensconced in public and consciousness of America.
Yeah.
Like Bryan Adams, cuts like a knife for, summer of 69, and buy a house on a hill and retire. But, but like we said before, you do it because you love it. And, hopefully if you like what you heard, you go hear the whole thing, because I don't think you'd be able to tell that it was, done locally, versus listening to an Eagles record.
Right.
That kind of quality and pursuit and passion in it.
Good.
So,
Excellent.
Hopefully people like it.
Yeah. That's all we can hope for.
Yep. That's it.
All right.
All righty, Rick. Well, thanks for coming out tonight.
Coming in. Great talking to you.
Really honored to be asked and to be here. And Mike, I've admired you for a long time, and to be able to hear and to be able to play with you in your band was great. And to be here with you tonight. And Ray, thank you very much for having me, and I really appreciate it.
Awesome. Thanks for being here.
Our pleasure. Thanks.
Yes, sir. Got her the second chance. Shy and humble Moses, sort of obscure.
The Rock and Roll Chicago podcast is edited by Paul Martin. Theme song courtesy of M&R Rush. The Rock and Roll Chicago podcast does not own the rights to any of the music heard on the show. The music is used to promote the guests that are featured.
Rock and Roll Chicago.